church in the fort, and we're looking, this is a view from Governor's Island. The vessel that you see coming out is a Dutch merchant ship, but it is a frigate, and it would have been a vessel very similar to that carried the first Jewish families to New York. So that painting that I did of Manhattan, what is it based on? You've probably seen this image. This is was used on the cover of Shorto's book. This was drawn by Auguste Hermann. Is that right? Hermann. And it was done as a, this image, I'm convinced, was done from life. There are images that are based on this that are kind of fantasized and upgraded, but Hermann, I think, actually saw this. And he may have made it look a little bit worse than it was, because they were trying to get support for the colony. So when they depict the windmill, you see that it has just 2 blades on it. That structure was in such bad shape that it couldn't be operated. They felt that if it actually turned, it would fall over. It was later repaired and then replaced by a different one that was on in another part of the city. But there's the church, and the fort, you can see, is very indistinct here. It's hard to tell exactly what it's made out of, but you can see it in the background. You can also see this area of very, very simple wooden houses. The dock side hasn't been developed at all. This is New York in its very rough early years. And in my painting, I've tried to represent that. So here you see that these buildings are older and they're not in very good condition. You can still see that there are buildings there on the Castello plan, but I think that many of those buildings date from that earlier time period. Now, by contrast, in the Strand area, where these warehouses were built and where Stuyvesant had his house and later Leisler was in there, these buildings are newer and bigger and more impressive. And as a matter of fact, if you look at other renditions of that waterfront, this is a wonderful watercolor print that is in the collection of the New York State Archive. It's an image that was created by an artist named Burgess. It's Burgess's view of Manhattan in 1717. But the incredible thing about this work is that when you zoom in and look at details along the shoreline, they are rich and here you can see the church, you can see the fort, and you can see where Stuyvesant's house was, right there. It's now a ruin. In 1717, it's a ruin. But Charlie and I had looked at this a few months ago when I was working on the project, and we were talking about, if you take a close look at the way Burgess has depicted Stuyvesant's house, you notice that the end wall has no windows, and you also notice that there are pilasters in the wall. Those are those vertical columns. And if you compare that with Stuyvesant's house, I want to see if I can go back one.
I'm going to go back.
Page down, page up. Page
Oh.
up, page up.
Will I do it?
On the side, page up.
That one. If you look at the Castello plan, you'll see that Stuyvesant's house has no windows on that wall, and you see that it has pilasters in it, which I thought was an interesting thing. Now, I don't think that Burgess makes that up. I think that's what he sees. So we know a little bit about Stuyvesant's house from that. Now, I don't know exactly what the roof line looked like, but I can see that at least those features were there. And there are a number of early Dutch buildings in this waterfront view that was done by Burgess. So here's my interpretation of Stuyvesant's house. Now, if I do this 5 times, it's probably going to change every single time that I do it. But right now, I think it's something like that, because we can see the bell gable in the Castello plan, and which was a common feature of Dutch buildings at that time. So there's the whole piece. We have the crumbling early part of the city over here from Herman's view, and we have this more up-to-date and functional new architecture on the Strand. This is a sketch for a painting looking out from the Strand toward Governor's Island. And naturally, there's the bark again. There's Van Curler's bark. It seems to be popping up in all of these paintings. I think I've got a problem with the bark. But this is a detail from the Castello plan of the Hanover Square area. This is an enlargement of just a small portion of the Castello plan. But it was from this viewpoint that I decided to do another painting. And this painting is just a typical kind of a street scene of Manhattan at that time. So the view, we're looking down it's still William Street, and Hanover Square today is down in this area. You can see it on this aerial view of Manhattan. It's right in there. This was the idea for the painting. This is an image from the digital model, and that's the painting. This is a painting that I did, it's an early sketch that I did of the Strand, and this, an adaptation of this is, I'm working on right now as a major painting. This was way back when I had no idea what was going on here with these buildings. I have a little bit clearer idea now, but this will, on the finished painting, this is where Stuyvesant's house would be located, and there'll be some activity going on in the harbor. And this is the last slide. This is Van Curler's bark. Plum Island is in the background. He's leaving Long Island, and I put this slide in here because I just wanted to say I have no idea where this bark is going to take me next.
Thank you, Len. We'd like to get on board. I would like to say that, you know, one of the assumptions in all of this, in terms of looking at the curriculum, is to integrate the virtual New Amsterdam project and the power of the images, both 2D and 3D, that Len is going to develop. I believe is going to be, you know, really path-breaking in terms of the ability to communicate what this period is about in a way that no one's ever done before. And that's our hope, that's our prayer, and
Thank God Rembrandt didn't come over here. We didn't have a job.
Yes. And we have the money, so let's go do it. I do think, you know, it's important in reflection that you know, the curriculums that are currently being developed and what we potentially, the History Center will fund, be prepared. We'll probably come back and ask more questions about what it is you think you'd like to do. And I would like to encourage the thinking of, you know, the integration. Well, okay, you've seen the images, you've been to the well. Let's think about how we can actually exploit this in a way that you may not have thought of before. Again, the purpose of this workshop is really just that. It's meant to be provocative. It's meant to make you reconsider. It's meant to try to make you think big and develop and deliver something that is really going to have true impact. I say around the world. Enough said on that point.